Hello there, commanders, and welcome to another episode of Persian faction preview, or in this case rather a patch preview, because we are going to preview the map, the new map Mycale. And I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. If not, feel free to correct me in the comments. So I've taken Skipper Cavalry, so just I can move around quickly, visit every nook and cranny of the map without any bigger problems, and I'll just walk around with my camera, not doing anything special here. And just analyze the map. So I have decided to deploy on the right flank, looking from the team number 1 perspective, the team that controls AB. So the right flank is the PE flank on this map. And yeah, let's see what we have here. There's a forest, a tiny little bit of forest over here to the right. It doesn't connect here. So if you were barbarians or anybody trying to sneak through, you can't really do that reliably. You would need to hope that nobody will spot you from here down below, which is possible. There is slight elevation, so if I go over here, we probably won't be able to see this road. We can test it now. Yeah, we don't see it. Also, there's a building over here, so unless somebody is over here or here on the road, you should be fine if you try to do this, but it is risky. It's not guaranteed like on many being hidden like on any other many other maps. We have another forest here to the left, but again quite small. Looks like a light forest as well, and a tiny bit of tall grass, which isn't symmetrical for the other side. We have a huge building over here, a temple, some buildings over here. Not really the same can be said about this. So we see quite a lot of asymmetric designs. There are cliffs over here as well, which can help with attacking or defending. So yeah, to be honest, not a fan of such big differences. I guess I'm gonna charge here. The healing zone, okay, so over here you have any ranged unit and you can easily deny the healing. It is not hidden in the forest, nor tall grass or anything. So you should be able to spot it, just barely. So you would probably need somebody to be in front of you in order to be able to actually see the healing zone itself. But that shouldn't be that big of a problem. Just literally walk a little bit forward and you can do it. Let's see on the other side. Here it is kind of behind the cliff. It's also not hidden within any terrain feature, let's say, terrain type. It's just plain grass. But there's a cliff here in the way. So if you were to have javelins or repeating crossbows or slingers, you may struggle to deny the healing zone, because you need to stand here to have range, and then this cliff may get in the way. It's hard to tell, but it is possible that it may get in the way. And also you can just, block the view, so you need to position yourself here or here even to be able to comfortably see the entire healing zone. And somebody can heal over here at the edge, and he'll be very difficult to spot and hit over there. So yeah, if I were to play on this flank, I think I would much rather prefer to be on the B side rather than on the E side, because E side is much easier healing denial. You have the tall grass here, so if you start over here, you can utilize the tall grass. You can hide archers, for example, here. And if the enemy archers do the same, and all they can do, they're here, between buildings. You can argue maybe they're slightly easier to protect if they're there, but they're just still in the open. And also the buildings would get in the way of their flat arcs. So yeah, I'd definitely give an advantage over on this flank to team number 1. Okay, let's look at C. So we have this forest over here, and then that sort of transitions over to this cliff. C is also on some sort of a tiny river, a stream, I guess. It falls into the sea, so let's call it a river. Doesn't matter. So here we have a symmetry, right? There is a rock, big rock, in front of a cliff or behind a cliff. Depends how you look at it. And then forest attached to that rock. Yeah, so that I like. It's pretty symmetrical from both sides. Tiny forest over here. Tiny forest over here, a little bit further away. Kind of, maybe not really. Building, no building, but that building is tiny, so not that big of a deal. So yeah, seems mostly fair. Let's look on the other side. Okay, I have A contested. It's quite a distance, and that tall grass gets in the way, so you need to move here in front of the tall grass, or just into the tall grass at the edge of it, to be able to see what is on this healing zone, and then you can start shooting and denying it. Here, not true. So again, whoa, this side is so broken, holy shit. So for example, if I am in a tournament, and let's say the rules are the enemy team picks a map, and then the other team, which would be my team, picks the side of this map. So the enemy team says, we want Mycale. It's like, pff, sure, I'm taking the AB side. Easy. Just look at it, like here, the healing zone denial is denied by the tall grass. You need to step a little bit forward. It is still quite easy, but it is ever so slightly harder. You will not always have the resources to do it. Same here. Let's see how the healing zone is placed if you capture E. Okay, over here. Nice. I would imagine if you capture B, it would show up here in this tall grass, just kind of corresponding to it. So if you manage to win, I guess this healing zone is better than this healing zone if you win on E. But once you win on a side flank, it really doesn't matter that much. So I definitely still favor the AB side, team number 1. Also captured C, healing zone here at the edge of the forest. It goes into the forest as well, so you can hide in the forest and heal. I would assume the same is true, symmetric on this side as well. Okay, let's go over to the new base and run to the other side, the other flank. Maybe through here, so that we don't get intercepted. Okay, so now let's analyze the left flank. We have a lot of tall grass areas over here. None really here. So it's very asymmetric. So again, if you attack from A and you go over to B, you have these cliffs that you can position yourself on. You have really nice attacking spots. It's quite difficult to defend, right? Because the cliffs are not on the right side, not facing the right direction. You also have downhill advantage. I mean, sometimes it is an advantage, sometimes it is a disadvantage, depending on the situation, really. Oh, they're recapping it. I'm sure let them do that. Okay, I'm here. Let's capture D and let's see where the healing zone shows up. The healing zone for the base is over here, so it helps D. So even if you lose D and lose this healing zone, you have another one super close. So it really doesn't matter, actually. So that's pretty interesting, let's say. And the same oh no, wait. Oh, this is the healing zone. Okay. Yeah, so the same is true for the other flank. So it is an interesting dynamic that even if you lose a side flank, so you can, for example, just ditch this flank. This may be not captured yet. So you can, as a team, decide to sacrifice this flank to win on the other, right? And even if you lose on this flank, you can just always recall back to the base, which let's say I'll do now. And after you recall back to the base, you're very much in a very easy position to retake B. And obviously you cannot deny this healing zone. I mean, you cannot make this healing zone disappear other than by winning the battle. But at that point, I don't think you care about making that healing zone disappear. Let's see. If you attack from this side, you can use barbarians to sneak through the tall grass initially, then go into a forest. And while forest provides pretty much the same hiding or cover, vision cover to units that a tall grass does, the difference is that in forests you also get additional penalties or bonuses. So if you are light infantry, barbarians for example, you would go here and you would have an advantage while fighting in this area, in these forests. Well, if you do the same for the other side, ED side, once you go in here and you push, try to flank the point, you fight on an equal ground over here and you get no bonuses for being in tall grass. Well, other than just it being easier to flank enemies, right? And you benefiting more from applying surprising flanks and stuff like that. Okay, maybe let's capture D now, see where the healing zone will show up. And let's do a PogChamp move, charge into a blob, war cry all of them. Yeah, no wrong. They're also going into A, I see. So I guess I need to hurry up with my cabbing. Okay, so that's this side. So again, I would heavily favor the AB side. Comes to fighting over here, also like such a nice angle of approach over here. Like if you manage to get over here and win this heal, it gives you an advantage no matter which side you would be fighting for. But here, if you are red side, the DE side, you go here, let's say you win the engagement here in the middle, and then you still have the obstacle of these tall grasses over here, which the defending team can use to their advantage, trying to, you know, delay you and buy more time for the other team units to heal. If the blue team wins over here, they just go straight into the point. There's nothing really to stop them. A forest that you can launch surprises from, but also a plan of attack is to go through here and have units flanking and securing this forest as, you know, part of the attack plan. The healing zone appears over here. I would expect that if you capture A as the red team, it would show up probably here, just behind this building. Yeah, just like it appears back here behind the cliff, it would probably appear here behind the building. That's my assumption. But it is only that, an assumption, nothing more. Oh, this isn't good work, right?
The enemy has lost a capture point.
Okay, let's now analyze the bases as we are closing in towards the end of the match. Let's see. A cliff to the left, cliff to the right, narrow passage, very narrow passage. That's an entire narrow passage, the only passage if you attack from E. So either go for this very narrow choke point, or you go all the way around here. You can get shot from the cliffs over here, and your alternative is also going through, well, a little bit wider, but still a narrow choke point. If you win on D and attack the base, you have a narrow choke point here, but alternative is not that much more a way to go. And you also go for a healing zone, so you can deny the healing very easily. So if you are on the AB side, honestly, attack for here. You have quite a big advantage. The cliffs are positioned in your favor. The forest is in your favor. These are also in your favor. And if you lose this side, and if you ever need to go there and help it, just teleport back here and try to retake B. It's very close. It's very easy to do. And if you control this, then you try to transition it to control of this forest, transition that into control of C. We can just also rush the base. For the enemy side, you can say the same is true, right? You push from E to B. You have quite a wide approach over here. Yeah, choke point, but you have 3 avenues of attack. This one is very wide. I mean, okay, here is a little bit of a mini cliff. And similar over here. It's a shorter bridge compared to this. Okay, it's pretty similar. It's quite a difficult approach from here, but not that big of a deal. So this base is easier to attack than this base. But to be honest, at that point where you're being attacked in the base, you're most likely already losing. So I would heavily favor the AB side. I think it's much better. Which is bad. That is actually bad. the sides should be equal. They should have equal opportunities and the same opportunities. It's not like, oh, one team can do this, but the other team that cannot do the same thing can in return do the other thing that the first team cannot do. Which is something we see a lot in map design in Total War Arena. But in this case, the blue team, the AB team, is winning on both flanks. C is equal, okay, I'll give it that. C is fine. But other than that, that map is really yikes. Really yikes. I would rate it quite lowly just because of how imbalanced it is. In terms of balance, it might be one of the worst maps in the entire game. The other maps that come into my mind in being badly balanced would be Teutoburg Forest. But Teutoburg Forest is an absolute pain in the ass to play. Because of how campy that map is. You have defensive positions everywhere and shitty positions in the middle. At least on this map, it's not the case. You can fight and win on both flanks if you just play better. If you have equal skill, the terrain favors quite heavily the AB team. But I would say it will be at times fun map to play and at times frustrating because it's quite open, allows a variety of terrain features, although not that many forests, so I would imagine barbarians would struggle. If you're playing barbarians, I would definitely recommend going to the AD flank rather than the BE flank, because there are just more tall grasses and forests in there that you can work with. Well, one forest on one side, which is kind of weird. Yeah, you have at least you have the symmetric forest on the right flank on BE, so that was okay. But yeah, that map is not good. I regret to say it, but this map is not good. Okay, overall, let's say I like the map for how it looks and how it will play. From a regular random matchmaking, it will sometimes be frustrating because you feel, shit, I got the worst side and I could have won this battle if the map was balanced, right? But we lost because the map is imbalanced. You can always get that excuse. I think I validated that excuse now. If that's a close loss. Yeah, it's quite difficult to talk about this map. So it always is open, so it will not be frustrating like Germania is frustrating, like Teutoburg Forest is frustrating, like sometimes Thermopylae, or well, Marathon is frustrating for other reasons. Yeah, so it will be nice and fun to play when everything is going well, but in terms of balance, what it actually matters, it's pretty bad. That's my final verdict. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this map. And look forward to more... Well, I've got a phone call. Look forward to more Persian faction previews coming your way very, very soon. Until then, I'll see you on Arena's Battlefields, Commanders.